1. This is a story about a man and his boss. 2. Our man joined the firm with 11 others. 3. They were all equal partners under one boss. 4. The boss was a good man. They all trusted him. 5. Our man was respected by the firm. They put him in charge of finances. 6. He kept a tight ship. He hated waste. 7. Occasionally, he was tempted to dip into the money for his own use, but that was one of the perks of the job. 8. The firm traveled a lot, moving around the country. 9. The boss took risks. He offended the establishment. He didn't always mix with the right kind of people. And where the boss went, the firm went too. 10. Our man didn't always approve of the company the firm kept, but he kept his thoughts to himself. 11. Sometimes the group split up and operated in pairs. The boss trusted them to do this. 12. They discovered that they could do most of the things the boss could do. They were excited and pleased. 13. The firm stayed together for 3 years. They were good together. 14. The partners did not always agree about what the boss had asked them to do. There were sometimes arguments. 15. The boss settled arguments quickly. They knew he was fair. He tried not to have favorites. 16. Our man had clear ideas about what he wanted from the firm and where he wanted the boss to take them. 17. As the days went on, our boss appeared, to our man, to be getting fanatical about challenging the establishment. 18. Our man could see where things were heading, and he wanted out. 19. Our man had choices. He could try to persuade the boss to change direction, but that seemed unlikely. Or he could go to the establishment and offer them a way to bring the firm down. 20. Our man sensed that the boss knew what he was up to. If the other partners discovered what he was up to, he was in trouble. But if the boss was choosing not to tell them, maybe he secretly approved of what our man was contemplating and wanted him to do it. Or maybe he didn't. It was a chance our man would have to take. 21. What finally led our man to take action was the night the boss turned on him for criticizing a woman. All that talk of the poor and death and burial. That might be the way the boss intended to go, but our man had no intention of following him. 22. Our man went to the establishment and spilled the beans. They wanted to interview the boss in person, and he agreed to lead their militia to him. They paid our man well, in silver. 23. One night, while the firm, still blissfully unaware, enjoyed their annual dinner, the boss hinted strongly that he knew what our man was doing. After an exchange of words with the boss, our man left the meal early to do the deed. 24. He led the militia to a secret garden where he knew that the boss and his partners would be. He pointed to the boss and then kissed him. The soldiers acted on his signal, and the boss was arrested and taken away. 25. Our man breathed a sigh of relief. He was now on the side of the establishment. Even if the partners tried to get back at him, they had little chance. Their reputations, with the boss arrested, would be in tatters. 26. Later, he heard the news. The establishment had sentenced the boss to death. He'd not meant that. He thought they he wasn't sure what he thought. But he hadn't wanted anyone to be killed. And he certainly didn't want to be blamed or held responsible for the boss's death. 27. He went back to the establishment. He tried to tell them that the boss was really a good man, foolish maybe, deserving of punishment perhaps, but not death. He tried to give them back the money they'd paid him, said he'd made a mistake, and they laughed at him and told him to go away. And he did, throwing the money down on the floor as he ran out. 28. Our man could not cope. He hung himself. He died by his own hand, and his boss died at the hands of strangers. 29. The firm broke up. The partners went into hiding. 30. Yes, that's it. 30 pieces of silver. The money they paid our man Judas to betray his boss, Jesus. They're going to use it, somewhat fittingly, to buy a burial ground.
Secundum secundum multitudinem miserationum